Hey YouTube, it's Dimitri, and today we're going to discuss Google being fined by the EU $2.7 billion in an antitrust lawsuit. So how does this relate to quant finance? We're going to get to that. So the reason that Google is being sued is that the EU is claiming that Google's search algorithms and services are more or less giving preferential treatment to Google products above their competitors. So this sounds like, I don't know, it sounds fishy, but then you think about it and it makes sense. If Google's algorithm or even Google's search is the one selecting what you see first, you're more likely to select something, say, in the top 5 that's going to be viewed on the screen versus something at the bottom of the first page. And let's be honest, none of us are going to the second page of Google. So the real issue now is that Google has to appeal this because $2.7 billion is a ridiculous fine with basically no backing from what I understand. And so this comes back into the banking sector here, and that banking is so highly regulated, especially in the US. We are required to build models to prove more or less we are financially stable and won't cause another financial crash, according to Dodd-Frank. I'm not a huge fan of all the parts of Dodd-Frank and think it is overreaching and agree that governments should not have their nose in corporate business. However, that being said, it does make sense that banks, for example, have to provide some proof that they are meeting different standards. So another example in banking is that when you make loans, banks have to more or less prove they're not discriminating based on specific characteristics in the US. So the big question is how does a tech company more or less validate their model? How do they prove that to a government, to the public, that they're fairly building models and fairly using them? Right? So just like in banking, a lot of these models that determine how a loan is made or determine how capital or profits are generated, for example, trading strategies, are proprietary. That means that these formulas, these equations, give this bank or tech company an advantage over its competitors because its model does a better job at more or less selecting good candidates or generating revenue. And Google's biggest asset, at least in my opinion, would be its search algorithm along with the employees that maintain and create these different types of algorithms. So more or less, what am I proposing on how to validate these while keeping these algorithms and trade secrets secret inside the business so it can continue to generate profits and revenues for itself and its shareholders, while also helping the public not get screwed by themselves or other corporations? Well, I propose more or less they do a type of validation where more or less you get a general idea of the inputs. There is a black box which they are not going to disclose because that is the proprietary algorithm or formula, and then there should be results at the end that are validated or reviewed. And so Google should be forced more or less, along with the entire tech industry, which I've been talking about how tech, doesn't have as big of an impact on the world as banking, because if our models blow up, you could have financial catastrophe, and now you're looking at tech, and tech is definitely coming in the limelight here. The fact is they're just as dangerous as bankings. If something goes wrong, they could discriminate against different consumers, different customers. When technologies go down, for example, a lot of these hacking that's been going on lately causes basically meltdowns across businesses, personal information leaks. It could be horrible. So we need to make sure that technology, as well as banking and other industries, should be somewhat minorly regulated. So I'm not saying we should put in a full regulation and government should be, hands in their pockets, milking these companies dry with the amount of regulations that are required just to meet them. Google more or less should provide, as well as Facebook and all the other big tech companies that do marketing and analytics and all that type of media, they should be forced more or less to tell you a general kind of inputs, then say, okay, this is our black box, we're not revealing anything, and then more or less, here's a generalized, either a graph, a display, a little bit of data showing that it doesn't really discriminate on anything. It's using these characteristics that are input into the model. Google does not control these inputs. It doesn't tweak them. It doesn't modify them. And so more or less it's a fair model in the middle by looking at the inputs and the outputs. But what do you guys think? Do you think that they should be fined? Put your comments below. Let me know what you think. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching my video. If you find it helpful, please like, share, and subscribe.